Hello everyone. Today I have with me Dr. Sujit Metre, Principal at prestigious Shri Binzani City College, Nagpur. A warm welcome to you, sir, on our program.
Thank you.
Coming to the first question, you have held key positions at education institutes throughout your professional career. What are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
The very basic reason why I'm part and parcel of this education system is youth. You grow older, but then when you are connected with youth, you also feel that you are young. The youth is full of ideas, and what you need as a citizen of India is channelizing that energy and idea generation process of youth for the benefit of the society, right? Because you are consuming huge resource of this society when you are getting paid, right? So somebody is paying for it, and when somebody is paying for it, there has to be return on investment. Being a teacher of finance, I believe on the principle of ROI. So ROI may not be always in rupee terms, it can be in various terms. So when we talk about, say, social cost benefit analysis, I personally think that every individual, if he takes care that whatever is being invested on him or her, if you are able to repay it back, maybe to the nation, to the society, or in worst case to your own family, I think much of the things which you are saying as a problem of India will become prospect of India. So youth is the primary reason why I'm connected, why I'm still going, and why I still enjoy interacting with you, because they have a huge potential. Unfortunately, it is untapped. So the whole effort is to tap them, to channelize them, to make them speak and speak out their ideas. The ideas may sound very, what you can say, silly, but then
At the start,
at the start, but then when you work on them, right?
when you nurture them
Yeah.
properly.
So the nurturing process is what keep us going, right? So that is what is my answer to your question.
So that was like in-depth answer, sir. Coming to the next question, what do you think are your roles and responsibilities to the students and the faculties of the institute being a principal?
Right. So when you are a principal, that by definition you are academic as well as administrative. And when you run the whole show called college or education, it has already become an industry. The customer is the king. When you say, the whole focus has to be student. So all our what you can say policies, our regulators are saying that what you are doing for your own students. So the first and primary focus is students. So my responsibility is primarily towards students, what they need. And when I say what they need, in all cases they don't know what they need. They don't know why they are in, why they are pursuing this education. Up to 10th standard or 12th standard in Indian education system, there is no option, there is no way out. You have to do it compulsorily. You have to go and get that whole training, whether you like it or you don't like it. You get first chance when you get into your UG to select maybe arts, commerce, science, or any other stream. What happens is that my student is not well equipped to make his own choice, right? So he follows the choice of a group or choice of his friends, or he succumbs to the pressure put in by the what again family or the society itself. And there is a natural segregation, which is a wrong segregation, which says that if you have scored more marks, opt for science. If you have scored less marks, go for arts, and so on and so forth. So what you are trying to do is one fundamental mistake, that you are correlating marks with stream, not interest with stream. So we are making efforts, but huge country like India, we think that it is a primary responsibility of the colleges who are admitting students to check it at the front gate only, to whether that person will enjoy here or whether he is fit for our ecosystem or course. This is the first thing which we need to check out, right? Now when you take that student further, right, then he is going to make choice of his electives. So second mistake which we do is we try to attach education with livelihood. So we immediately think about what kind of placements are being offered, what kind of salaries are being offered. You never think that even if you are paid a huge salary, if you are not enjoying that job, 35 years to 40 years of your life will be hell. Even if you are making money, right? So on first of every month you will enjoy, and rest 30 days you will say that my life is miserable. So are we looking for that kind of a country, that kind of economy, that kind of society wherein people are not enjoying their jobs? So the fundamental mistakes are committed at the entry point of the graduation, that we don't check properly whether that person is fit for that. And second is that everybody says that if you do good into your own courses, so that means BA has got equal scope, BE has got equal scope. Then if that is the concept, everybody agrees that if you are at the top 15, top 10% of the course, your life will be good and your career will be successful. If that is the case, then why don't you put right person into right bracket? If that happens, probably the things will be smooth. So responsibility of the college and teachers is to check before admission, not after admission, is to check before admission. So if that system is not working, at least the education policy at university level should give proper exit routes and absorption schemes for moving from one faculty to another faculty. That is absent right now. So we need to have, say, I have taken admission into science, but somehow I am not enjoying science. Now I think that I should go and do my further studies into say management or arts or commerce. He should be allowed, and he should not be forced to restart again. Absorb means if you think that there has to be some bridge course, let him complete that bridge course and accommodate him. So there has to be system, if not in formal university education, at least in open university system, it should be incorporated. So that has to be the case if you want to do justice with those students who are ignorant to begin with, right? Same is the case with the teachers. Teachers also are not knowing what is their interest. And what happens, unfortunately, is that the leftover things are given to the junior most persons. The so-called cream or so-called the subjects liked by the senior teachers, they are given or allotted first, because HOD most of the time does the allotment. So what happens is that even if I like to take one subject, it may not be available for me. So as a policy, we should be doing it. So that is what is my second responsibility. I think that if you are interested in teaching one particular subject, if you want to develop yourself as authority into that particular subject, you should be given a chance. And that is what we also follow. And we have requested all our HODs and administrator coordinators that first chance to be given to the new entrant, not the you can manage, but then that person needs some time to establish. So that is the responsibility towards my teachers. Second is, if they are having certain issues with, say, technology, certain issues with research methodology, so training is part and parcel of it. So my job is to motivate them, train them on these things, maybe one-on-one or group training. So micro teaching is one of the concepts which we adopt, which we discuss also. So that is towards the teacher. So first, primary student. Second pillar is my teachers. Third is my non-teaching staff, because they are equally important, right? Most of the what you can say pain points in the life of the students are because of the non-teaching staff. It is not because of the teaching staff, because admission, enrollment, exam form, results are withheld, application to university, certifications, everything. So we need to take them into confidence, and that is what is the responsibility of a chair, to let them know that you are here because of the students, and therefore students are the pivotal, so they should be taken care of, right? So I always say to them that assume that the boy or the girl standing in the window asking you something is either your boy or girl, or a daughter or son, or if you are unable to imagine it, imagine that it is principal sir's boy or daughter. So treat it like that. So that is how the transformation will take place, and slowly but steadily they are also being trained on that. Both the IT skills as well as the soft skills, they are being trained on that, and they are improving So
and
that is
make
how
the
things are.
ultimate aim of making students feel
Right,
important
right.
and their time is important,
Right.
and
So,
not just
so we are also coming out with concept of SQAC. There is IQAC kind of the internal quality assurance. So we are students quality assurance, where students will take charge of their own well-being. So once they are into this particular committees, so they will be part and parcel of every committee. So I make any committee, I will say that this is a student representative who is there. So that will make the things, what you can say, uh, the word is not only discipline, it is dedication also, which I command and demand from the students, that they will also know that these are the practical problems at the college end, and they will have their own ideas. They will be coming out. So the discrepancies which right now exist will be removed when student is made part of it.
they will automatically get to
Yes,
know what
yes.
are the problems
Yes.
on the institute's front.
Right, very true.
So, you said that we should be knowing if the student could be like able to go through the
Right.
ecosystem of the college
Right.
is having currently.
Right.
So do we see that there are more counselors, not only from
Obviously.
this college, overall in India? Because when we go for foreign, the students there know that ki I want to pursue this course, and they are being counseled.
Right.
So do we see that the more schools are calling counselors and making students like they should feel important? Yeah, this is what we should go through, because 90% of the students still have doubt that what will I be doing after taking my
Right,
10th living certificate.
Right. So the first part is orientation. So when student enters your college, he has already made up his mind that either he is going to go for arts or commerce or whatever it is. So he has made a mind, but on what premises you don't know. So the first thing is that you have made a choice of commerce for yourself. Okay, welcome. Please attempt this particular test. Go through this testing, right? So you say that I am going to check your aptitude. I am going to ask you a few questions. I am going to check my doubts that why you want to pursue this course. What is that you are looking at, right? Why this college is the next question. Why this course is the first question. So if I find that he has got sufficient reasons to go and opt for this, right, and his numbers coming out of that aptitude test are also supporting, then only we should allow, okay, then go and buy prospectus. Before that, you should not. So that will take some time, but then slowly but steadily this will happen. And if this cannot be done at the initial phase, you will have to give them exit option as and when they require. So that is
you
where
can refer them to the counselors so that they can give
Right.
you more career opportunities according to what you are good at.
Right. So I have made a 3-layer system. First is the what you can say local mentor kind of thing. So I go by mentorship system, wherein the class teacher and the subject teacher is made mentor. Then there is a chief mentor kind of thing, wherein the HOD, coordinator, principal, they are part of it. So the students who need additional support or help on counseling part, my counseling center is called Sujit. So wherein there is a second layer of what you can say counselors available or mentors available, and third is I take the help of the industry as well as outsider counselors. So we have made a tie-up with Roots Foundation, which is an organization working into this particular domain of counseling only. They do wonderful work for counseling across. So we have tied up with, so we do sensitization programs, guest lectures and so on and so forth. We also do testing with them. So we are continuously doing that thing. So the idea is that if we have missed something at UG level, at least my student does not miss it at PG level. PG level, he makes a proper choice. So that is, fortunately, we have what you can say multiple faculty entries into PG level, and that is where we are trying. Right. So that is what I have to say on this.
That is great initiative taken by yourself. And on the institute front, coming to the next question, I think any of the person talking to you not only will ask you how is the institute dealing with the current COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay. My challenges regarding COVID were altogether different. Maybe 50% of India is facing that problem, and my problem was on faculty side. On faculty side, I had teachers who have never used ICT tools that extensively. So Zoom, YouTube, and all those tools were looked upon by them as something which they cannot adjust.
Fancy stuff.
Right, fancy stuff, and of not that use. So technology adoption was the first issue when that first lockdown came into picture, right? So fortunately, that was a time available with us because that was a slack period, right? So only examination was where you taken using ICT. So only Google Forms and all those, where that was managed with the help of IT people, right? Because we have got language issue also. So we have certain papers into Marathi, Hindi, Sanskrit, and so on. So making Google Forms into that was little tough to begin with. Now the things are normalized. Second phase was to take out these online lectures. So online lectures, as everybody will agree with this, that our teachers don't have exposure to online. So they have made multiple mistakes while they have conducted online lectures, right? They were not aware how they are looking at the other end, whether the voice is reaching. And that feeling, instant gratitude, instant feedback is something which acts as an oxygen for every teacher, right? When that is missing, and when you see that a teacher is required to ask, am I audible? Right? So that is the worst part of the whole teaching learning process. But even worse was the situation at students' end. My teachers do not come from the economically elite classes. They belong to a class wherein the resources are not sufficient. I will give you few examples. After we started these online lectures, after 3 weeks, a girl entered into my cabin and said that, sir, you have started classes. I said, yes, we have started. We have started it online. Then I asked, are you not part of the WhatsApp group? She said, sir, I am part of WhatsApp group. So are you receiving links regularly? She said, yes, sir, I am receiving links regularly. Then I said, that what is the problem? The problem, she said, is that right now I am shifted to my village. And in my village, from my home, after 1.5 kilometers, I get range for 2 to 3 hours only. That's it. Right? This is first problem. Second, we are not wealthy enough to have a recharge of 2 to 3 GB per day, because that is what is required for a video lecture. Right? So, do you have any solution for me? Right? So this was the first shock to me, that we struggled on this side, that is supply side, then, but on demand side also there was an issue. Then come the second discovery, which said that from Nagpur, right? So people, the students who are coming from slums, right? So we said that, don't you have smartphone? They said, we have smartphone, but there is only one smartphone in my family. In my family. Then we said that, why don't you use it? Why don't you join our lectures? She said that my parents have to make a choice, and that choice is that whether I should use that smartphone or my younger brother should use it. And the natural choice is my younger brother, right? And he uses it, and therefore same time I cannot use it. So even if I wish, I cannot.
Also, the parent has to carry the phone for his work, right, or something.
Right. That is the third problem. But if there is a disposable handset, that handset is shared. It is not the property of the individual. So while we were discussing, the thought which came to us is that in order to solve the problem at that girl as well as this girl who cannot do online lecture, can I do recorded live? So what we have done is that we have created the LMS lecture management system, wherein we have uploaded our lectures, and we said that students, don't worry about your attendance. What we want is attention. So what you do is that you go through these, right? So there are 2 categories of students I have. One, those who are resource constrained in terms of money. Second is the students who are working to support to their families, right? So because the office timing is also matching or clashing, they cannot do it online. So they do first 2 lectures, 3 lectures, and then there are no option. So these lectures, recorded lectures, when put on Google Classroom, they watch it, right? And there is an assignment based on that particular thing. So we also get assurance that they have gone through. So this is how we are managing, right? But still, the resource is the constraint for us. We are not in a position to supply handsets or data points or whatever it is. So that remains a problem. We cannot cater to all of them. So online is not working for me.
It is very hard to
Yes.
cope up with the things,
And we are helpless. We are helpless.
So, how does the curriculum of SBCC, since we know that it is an affiliated to a university, there are not much things which can be changed in the academic curriculum. But how does SBCC ensure that the extracurricular activities that are being conducted at the institute and students participate in those activities? So, how
Right.
do you ensure those?
Right. So, as you have rightly quoted that I have a prescribed syllabus and I have to follow it. But then there is a provision, and that provision was made long back by UGC that I can start with add-on courses, value-added courses, breach courses, career-oriented courses. So what I have done is that we have identified the problem number one, enemy number one of my students is communication skills and personality. So we have started a COC called career-oriented course on that. So what I am taking care is that I have followed UGC structure. First year you have a certificate course, second year you have got diploma course, and third year you have got advanced diploma course. So there is a curriculum. We target written skills, verbal skills, and personality development, three on the go. And what happens is that there is a proper examination, there is assessment, there is practical training also, and at the end of you get certification, right? And these courses are part of our timetable. So they have to do it, right? Similarly, not everywhere they follow that sports as an activity, sports as a period, because sports period is a waste period, they say.
Yeah,
right?
in a school especially,
Yeah,
it is considered, but in a college,
In a college, there is no culture of sports. Only sports person, those who are part of any game, they play, they practice. But for all others, the very basic idea why the sports teachers were appointed to a normal college was not to support them, just to have physical fitness across, right? So that lecture is also important, because that is a lecture where socialization happens along with the body toning. So we say that it is built up games. So we are going back to our own games. That means we are not talking about football, volleyball, or the games which are part of your Olympics. We are talking about the games which we have lost over these days.
Kho-Kho.
No, not Kho-Kho. Kho-Kho is also part. Kabaddi is also part. We are talking about those games which are called built-up games, right? Maybe pebbles, maybe gilli danda, maybe what do you say? All those games which maybe the last generation used to play as a regular thing, right? And these students are not at all playing. So we are taking back to them to grounds, and we want them to play. And then there is a competitive spirit that Section A versus Section B, BBA versus BCCA. And if that happens, that is where the second thing. Because only academics will not help. If you are saying all around development, so that is the second thing. And third is cultural activities where students enjoy most. So right now it's all on online mode, but when they will come, similar as we are planning these sports, we are also planning on that thing. That first say singing competition, only singing. So class versus class, first inter-class, then classes, and then we will give
college versus
college, and so on. So we are having tie-ups and all those things. And many principals are also agreeing to this fact that they need to do something in this regard, because you simply cannot do it because somebody wants it. You should do it because you want to take out some leverage out of it. So that is where the things are. So we are doing so. Academic inputs we are giving, physical fitness inputs we are giving, maybe yoga and all those things. And third is cultural inputs we are giving. We are just providing them what you can say, platform to perform. NSS and NCC are another ways to build up all those things. So guest lectures is a permanent part of our system. Visits to industrial houses is permanent part of system. Immediately after pandemic, we are going to start with the internship schemes also, wherein these primarily the students of BCom, BBA and BCCA will be given internships of minimum 15 days so that they can have hands-on experience of what all they are learning because they have insurance as a subject. So my idea is that why not, if somebody is selling me insurance, so he is an insurance agent and he is having his own setup, I will say that take my 2 students for 15 days, tell them what are the products you are selling, tell them how you are selling, how you are making a call, how you are explaining the things to the client and all those things. So they will have hands-on experience. You just have them with you, and at the end of 15 days, you say that they have learned these things. That's it.
Also, you can get a marking scheme on the basis of that. At the end of that, you can submit a paper or just of a 1 or 2 page in which you can describe your experience, and we can have a viva or something like that.
Phase 2, I can take that suggestion also. Right now, I am interested in taking them out of the classroom.
Okay.
At such, they are not coming into classroom, but then I don't want to take them to classroom alone. I want them to take this. So what I want them is that I don't want them to be examinees. I want them to be students. Right now they are examinees. They are worried about exams and marks and certificates, which are of no use. They also know, we also know. So it is the process which matters, not the result. Right? And I have seen it. I have seen my graduates who don't have degree, but then they are placed and they are earning more than those who have got degree with flying colors. So that talks a lot.
So you have to keep learning like every stage.
Obvious.
So coming to the next question, what do you think should be institute's next priority for the coming 5 or 10 years?
5 or 10 years, I think what I should do is, or my institute, or for that matter, any institute should do is that they need to now adapt to this new education policy, right? So there has to be clusterization. So you need to make yourself prepared. So it should not come to you as a shock, right? Somebody someday said, and next day you are with that college, and you have to also train these students and those students. I don't think that will work. So what we can see is that interpret or decode that particular new education policy, which focuses on vocational training. So you should also become part of vocational training. You should also become part of what you can say Kaushal Vikas, wherein skill training is being emphasized, and training in mother tongue. So creating the what you can say study material into the mother tongue, right? Maybe Hindi or Marathi or English, whatever it is, any language, whatever it is. Right. So that should be one of my priorities. And second is that because each one of my student is coming from, say, economically backward class, their first priority is to earn something, right? So earn livelihood. So foreign language training has to be part of it. So one skill set, one instrument, they should be able to play, right? So that will make them the personality who is sought after. So I want to make my campus full of that, say, full of music, dance, drama, and also the academics, that too practical training. So if that happens, I think campus will look like campus.
It will blossom over
right,
the years.
It will look like campus.
So coming to the next question, when you first came to SBCC, what was your vision for the college, and how far have you come in implementing that vision?
When you talk about vision, first thing which attracted me to this college is the huge infrastructure and the legacy. This college is into its 91st year, and this college, when it was initiated way back in 1930s, you will not believe that time they were having the teaching and non-teaching staff quarters in the campus itself. The principal at those days, they used to stay in the campus only, right? So the residential campus concept came for this SBCT college way back in 1930. So look at those persons and their vision. If you look at those visions and look at this 90 years period, probably the college has steadied itself, but then the vision they must have seen, right, that is not yet being achieved. So the first priority which I have quoted in my interview also, that I want to do something so that the 90-year-old institute gets its due credit, whatever it is. right? So all 90-year-old institute, if you look, they are based in the field, right? So I wanted to say that this is a well-known institute, no doubt. Binzani City College is known everywhere, right? But then the respect which it should come immediately after that,
the brand
which it should have, and that is at the discretion of the students. If my students perform, I will automatically get that brand. So that is a ripple which I am seeking at. So that was the case. And second thing is that I wanted to do something into sports management, because this is the only campus wherein and at the heart of the city it is 30 acres campus. So huge ground, huge facilities, but then we need to channelize that also,
nurture
them. So the idea is that people should look up to this particular place as something wherein you can make your sports careers. So we have started with NSM Sports Academy. NSM standing for Nagpur Shikshan Mandal, which is our governing body. So we have formulated a sports academy. Now the enrollment of the mentors on that sport academy, that task is on. Maybe 1 or 2 years down the line, you will see the sea change in the ground, the infrastructure is there, and the kind of coaching which we impart, right? So we want to make it bubbly space as far as the people around are concerned. So the vision of our management is that we should make maximum utilization of the available resources, and definitely in the process develop those resources also. So we are moving on those, right? So two things. First, SB City should get its credit due credit as 90 years old institute, moving towards 100. And second is the huge resource in terms of sports resource which is underutilized. We want to utilize it to the maximum.
Also, the other day you were saying that you are also wanting to start an MBA program for the sports.
Yes, obviously.
Because it would make more sense, and it is efficient because the campus, there are such resources available at the campus,
right?
And it would be easy for all of us to develop together.
Yes, there is a concept called institutional distinctiveness. So I want to create that distinctiveness using sports as a backbone. So sports teachers, sports facilities, everything related to sports. Yes, and sports students, needless to say. So we are successful in that. On 30th of this particular month, last month, we have felicitated our sports achievers.
I was attending that program.
And 39 of them were part and parcel of it. So we want to grow. Right, so a dream is that we should give national players and hopefully the Olympians and Asiad players.
So coming to last but not the least question, what would be your advice to the current and aspiring students?
See, the advice is very, very basic. Whenever you write your profession, you write there something called a student. So you should follow, you should believe, you should have faith that you are students. And when you say student, so you are here for learning, right? And when it is learning, it is teaching also. So whenever you are learning something, it is your own duty to pass that learning to somebody which is a fellow student. Maybe he is your junior or he is a fellow member sitting besides you, but he has not understood it. The concept which is taught to you in a class is understood by you, but then you identify that this person sitting next to you has not understood it, is facing problem. It is your primary duty as a student to teach also. Therefore, the process is called teaching learning. It is not only the teacher to student, it has to student to student. So this is called peer learning. So my first advice to them is that indulge into this peer learning. Second is indulge into experiential learning. Because unless you have experiential learning, only textbookish knowledge is not going to help, right? So support your learning with certain practical exposure to it, right? And third, which is the missing part, is that be curious. You began your life being curious. You tested everything, including dust, right? You tested everything. Now, as you have grown up, you stopped questioning. right? And the moment you stop questioning, your thought process stops, and therefore most of the youth, they don't have their own identities, they don't have their own thought processes. I want, right or wrong, I don't want to debate on that. You should have your own thought process. You should not be easily tamed up by anybody saying that this is what the case and you support me, right? Right. So your individual thoughts, if you don't have them, then you don't deserve to be called as individual. So first develop those things, and the first starting point is ask question. And question is very simple, why? So if you have WHY, if somebody says that submit this assignment, ask the teacher why. Why you want me to do this? Right?
What is the outcome of
yes,
this?
and there that will take us to something called as outcome-based education, wherein you also know that you are doing this because at the end of this you are going to get 1, 2, 3. I also know that I am doing this because at the end of the day you should get 1, 2, 3. Right? So that outcome-based education is what is being tried upon, and that is what I request to all the students, that look at the outcomes which are planned, which are intended when you join any course or program, and try to have them at the end of it. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir, for having taking out time to do this interview at such a short notice and giving such insights about the institute,
Right.
and also the various programs for the students. Thank you so much for your time.